The rain pounded against the windows of the old Victorian house in Seattle's Queen and neighborhood. But inside the attic, the air was thick with dust and secrets. Sophia Reed, 32 years old and a forensic accountant at Pacific Trust Bank, had come home to help my mother sort through the clutter before her husband, Victor Lang, turned the space into his executive retreat. Victor owned Lang Construction, a mid-sized firm always chasing the next big municipal contract. He'd married my mom, Grace, right after my grandmother's passing 5 years ago, promising stability and a fresh start. But as I rifled through a forgotten chest, my fingers brushed against a sealed packet from Harlow and Finch, estate lawyers. The label read, Sophia A. Reed, sole heir. My heart skipped. Grandmother had died when I was 27, and Mom had insisted everything was settled. Modest savings, some jewelry, and the house we'd always called Reed Manor. But this? I slit the seal carefully, my accountant's eye noting the date, 6 years old, referencing a codicil to her will. Footsteps thundered up the stairs. Victor burst in, his face twisted in fury, rain dripping from his coat. He'd been out meeting investors, but the whiskey on his breath told another story. What the hell are you poking around for? His eyes zeroed in on the papers, and in a flash, he lunged, yanking them from my grasp. The motion threw me off balance. I crashed into a stack of boxes, my elbow slamming against the hardwood. Pain shot through my arm, but I didn't cry out. These are mine, I said, voice steady despite the ache. Addressed to me about grandmother's estate. He stuffed them into his pocket, towering over me. Nothing here is yours. You're just freeloading off your mother and me. His hand reared back, and the slap echoed like thunder, stinging my jaw. I tasted blood, my vision blurring for a second. Stay out of my damn business, he snarled, grabbing a chain and padlocking the chest before storming out. I sat there, pressing a hand to my swelling face. But my mind was already racing. In my line of work, I'd audited enough embezzlers to know the signs, the fear in his eyes, the haste. He hadn't even glanced at the documents properly, didn't see my name etched in black and white. That night, I iced the bruise in the bathroom mirror, snapping photos with my phone's timestamp app. Evidence first, always. Victor thought he'd intimidated me into silence, but he didn't know Sophia Reed. I'd spent years unraveling financial webs, tracing laundered funds, building cases that put crooks behind bars. This was personal, but I'd treat it like any audit, methodical, relentless. 14 days, that's the timeline I set. 2 weeks to dig, document, and dismantle whatever scheme he'd woven around my family. The house itself whispered clues. Reed Manor, built in 1948 by my great-grandfather, overlooked Puget Sound with its wraparound deck where grandmother taught me to sketch sunsets. Paid off long ago. It was the heart of our family legacy. But Victor had upgraded it, new loans for renovations, he claimed, to boost his business collateral. Now, those papers suggested otherwise, a codicil naming me heir at 28, with Mom holding only residency rights. No spousal claims. I'd owned it for 4 years without knowing. Downstairs, Victor's truck peeled out into the storm. Mom was at her knitting group, oblivious. I crept to his home office, the one he'd claimed as his domain. No breaking in, just observation. A quick scan revealed file cabinets. But I'd start elsewhere. Harlow and Finch. I'd memorized the firm. A Google search on my phone pulled up their site, still active in downtown Seattle. By morning, the bruise had purpled, but concealer hid most of it for work. Colleagues asked about my clumsy weekend, and I brushed it off with a laugh. Lunch break. I parked in a quiet lot and made my list. Audit protocol, check ownership deeds at King County Recorder's Office. Request certified codicil copies. Review any liens or mortgages. Contact an old law school buddy, Marcus Hale, now a probate attorney, and document the assault. More photos. A journal entry. I texted Marcus. Urgent estate question. Confidential. Coffee tomorrow. His reply. My office. 7 p.m. Bring what you have. That gave me a day. After work, I hit the county office, flashing my professional ID to expedite. The clerk, a no-nonsense guy named Ted, punched in the case number I'd glimpsed. Codicil to Amelia Reed's will. Filed 6 years back. Heir, Sophia Reed. Property transfer at age 28. Certified copies in hand. I sat in my car. The rain now a drizzle. Reading the fine print. Clear as day. Reed Manor to me. No encumbrances allowed without my consent. Mom's rights protected. But Victor? Zilch. Then the bombshell. Property records showed a $550,000 home equity line of credit from Cascade Bank. Taken last year. Signatory, Victor Lang. As authorized representative for owner Grace Lang. But Grace had never owned it. Grandmother bypassed her entirely, likely foreseeing exactly this. Forgery. Fraud. I photographed every page, uploaded to encrypted clouds, and stashed hard copies in my work safe. Redundancy was survival. That evening, home felt like a minefield. Victor sprawled in the living room. Blueprints for his big Everett Harbor bid spread out. Mom beamed beside him. Sophia, Victor's about to land a $1.5 million contract. It'll pay off all the loans. Loans? I sat. Casual. Congrats. Managing that debt must be tough. Victor's eyes narrowed. It's strategic borrowing. Not that a desk jockey would get it. I smiled thinly. Funny you say that. I was at the county recorder today for work vendor audits. Deeds are all online now. Anyone can check. His fork paused midair. What were you looking at? Just patterns. Like how collateral loans need all owners' signatures. Mom frowned. Victor handles finances. Dear. Of course, I said. But hypothetically, if someone mortgaged a house they don't own. Victor slammed his glass down. Enough games. And that attic's off limits now. My grandmother's things are up there, I countered. And nobody locks me out of family spaces. Boundaries set. The tension crackled. Mom shifted. Let's not fight. But as I left, I heard her whisper to him. What loans? Exactly. In my room. Door bolted. I prepped files for Marcus. Through the walls. Their voices rose. Victor's denials. Mom's questions. The seed was planted. Dinner the next night was a farce of politeness. Victor steering talk to his Everett Harbor project like a captain avoiding rocks. The developers at North Bay Partners demand rock-solid finances, he boasted, slicing his chicken with forced calm. No loose ends. No family drama. Drama? I echoed. Buttering bread. You mean like unauthorized loans? Mom's eyes pleaded for peace. But I pressed. When did you sign off on that equity line? Mom? The one pledging the house. She hesitated. There were papers after the wedding. Victor said it was for joint assets. Joint. I pulled my phone, showing the deed. This house skipped you. Mom. Straight to me from grandmother. Victor had no right. He erupted. Chair scraping. You're poisoning her against me. I've built this life. Paid bills. Fixed this dump. With what money? I shot back. That loan went somewhere. He stormed out, slamming the door. Alone with Mom. I softened. Read this codicil. See for yourself. Her hands shook as she scanned it.
He
couldn't have known.
He did.
That's why he hid it. And slapped me when I found it. Her gasp was sharp. He said you tripped. Photos don't lie. I showed her the bruise pics. Tears welled. Has he touched your accounts? Grandmother's insurance. Her silence confirmed it. We need to check everything, I urged. Contracts.
Statements.
Love isn't blindness.
Mom.
Victor's key turned in the lock. We composed ourselves. He re-entered. Calmer but cold. I've decided. Full financial transparency for tax prep.
His bluff. Great, I said.
As owner. I'll need lease docs too since you've been tenants.
His jaw dropped.
Owner?
Bull.
Public record. I left them arguing, prepping for Marcus. At his office, dim lit with law books. I laid it out, codicil. Loan forgery. Assault. He whistled. This is textbook fraud. We can void the loan, file for eviction, press charges, and protect Mom? Absolutely. Emergency hearing in days. Relief flooded me. Day 3, I audited Mom's accounts quietly. Her IRA, pre-marriage, drained by $200,000 via a forged power of attorney. Transfers to Victor's business. He said it was temporary, she whispered. For investments. Gambling sites and crypto trades, I traced. Not business. Her world cracked. That night, Victor cornered me in the kitchen. Drop this, or you'll regret it. Threats? Add it to the file. He grabbed my arm. I twisted free. Touch me again. And it's assault charges. He backed off. But the fear in his eyes grew. By day 4, I contacted Cascade Bank anonymously, flagging fraud. Their compliance team promised review.
Then,
a call to the state contractors board. I'd collaborated with them on past audits. Laying constructions using fake collateral for bids, I reported. Documentation incoming. Victor's empire wobbled. Home tensions peaked. He slept on the couch. Mom in the guest room. I found more in the basement. Hidden ledgers showing siphoned funds. Photos. Uploads. Backups. Marcus filed for injunction. Hearing set for day 10. Victor sensed it. His calls frantic. To lenders. Lawyers. I warned subs via email. Payment issues loom. Secure invoices. Replies poured in. Owed wages. Suspicions. The net tightened. The weekend brought uneasy truce. But Victor's facade cracked. Saturday. He hosted investors for a barbecue. North Bay execs eyeing Everett Harbor. I stayed upstairs, but overheard boasts. Asset solid. House as collateral. Lie upon lie.
Mom,
Emboldened, questioned him later. Show me the contract. He deflected. Sunday. I drove to Harlow and Finch. The partner.
yes,
Finch. Elderly but sharp. Confirmed. Your grandmother insisted on the codicil. Feared opportunists. She provided originals. Any fraud? Will testify. Back home. Victor ambushed me. What were you doing downtown? Personal errand. His slap attempt, I dodged. Phone recording. Assault 2. He paled. Day 7. Marcus prepped Mom's affidavit. She signed. Tearful but resolute. I trusted too much. I notified North Bay. Fraud alert on Lang bid. Their response, pulling negotiations. Victor's phone exploded with calls. He paced, yelling into voids. Day 8. Bank froze the equity line. Victor raged, blaming glitches. I confronted. It's over. Forgery exposed. He lunged. Mom intervened. Leave. Victor. He didn't, but slept in his truck. Day 9. Subs arrived, demanding pay. Chaos ensued. Police called, trespass warnings. Victor's world imploded. The courthouse loomed on day 10, gray Seattle skies mirroring the mood. Judge Harlan Voss, known for financial crimes disdain, presided. Marcus presented, codicil, forgeries, bruises, drained accounts. Victor's lawyer stammered defenses. Misunderstanding. Judge, forgery isn't misunderstanding. Mom testified. Voice steady. He stole my security. Victor crumbled. Injunction granted. No access. Assets frozen. DA referral for fraud. North Bay rep appeared. Bid revoked. Misrepresentation. Board suspended license. Victor shouted. Ruined. Bailiff restrained him.
Outside.
Mom hugged me. Free. Post-hearing, Victor collected belongings under watch. Mom handed divorce papers. Go. He left. Broken. Bank voided loan. Charges filed. 7 to 12 years possible. I reclaimed the house, utilities in my name. Rooms restored. Weeks later, peace settled. Mom visited family in Oregon. Finding herself. I interviewed for North Bay's compliance role, ironic justice. The house breathed again. Grandmother's sketches rehung. Deck's sunsets savored. A final letter from her. Sophia, protect your independence. Men like him prey on trust, fight with facts. I did. Victor's trial loomed. But Reed Manor stood secure. Was justice enough? Or did exposing lies heal deeper wounds? The question lingered. A quiet echo in the halls.